Now back to top story on the state governors rejecting the 60,000 naira proposed by the federal government as the new minimum wage. Earlier on, I spoke with public affairs analyst and OJO, and I began by asking a mistake on the claim by the state governors not being able to pay 60,000 naira, considering the large amount of money they get from FAC allocations.
I'm not surprised that the state governors are kicking against the 60,000 which the federal government is offering. That's why I was shocked when there was a news report that federal government is willing to pay 105,000 minimum wage. When we read that labor has also come down to 100,000. Because I've always said this on every media platform where I've discussed this, it's about affordability and sustainability. You need to understand that workers in every state just is like less than 10% of the population of the state. So governor wants to collect its allocation from the federal government and use it to pay salaries of 10% of workers. Let's even be magnanimous that they are up to 10%. What about the 90% of the population of the state? How will the government fix infrastructure and also even the running cost of governance in the state? So I'm not surprised that the state governors are kicking against the state, which means from all indications there could be an impasse with beyond these 5 days that the labor unions have given the federal government within which to come to conclusion on this matter. So it's not surprising, like I said. We just have to be sensible and logical. Yes, the state government are getting more than they got under Buhari administration. But you also need to look at the rising cost of living across the board. It's not just for workers in government employment. For individuals who are in the informal sector, for artisans, for private people, private businesses, it's all affecting all of us. So if you decide no governor wants to collect the state allocation and just hand it to 10% of the population of the state to go and marry. So and that's why federal government needs to hurry slowly, be sincere with the workers. And if the state government are even kicking against 60,000 minimum wage, it then means we have to go back to my earlier suggestion on another platform where I've said there should be decentralization of negotiation.
Now, lastly, before I let you go, the labor unions called off the strike for 5 days. Now that the days are almost over, negotiation is still on. Do you think the decision to call off the strike was a right move?
It was a right move. Don't forget that the labor unions also they are very sensitive to public mood. And situation where you have shut down the national grid, you have shut down hospitals, the flights, the water, electricity. I mean, the ordinary citizens on the streets who live day by day, who earn their daily wages, who are not members of the labor unions, they are not going to take it lying low if you go beyond those 2 days. They are going to come after the labor leaders. And in fact, they may descend on the secretariat of Nigerian labor unions. So they themselves knew that they must not overreach themselves. Don't also forget that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice said they are in clear breach of extant labor laws for calling out that strike, because there was a National Industrial Court that has forbidden them from going on that strike. And the fact that they also took the law into their hands, shutting down the national grid, throwing the entire country into darkness, and shutting down all the social services means that even when you are not a worker, you are being made to suffer vicariously. So if it had gone beyond those 2 days, I am very positive that Nigerians, ordinary citizens, the artisans, the market women and men will have descended on the labor leaders and the labor unions generally, and they will have lost face, because while the labor unions are fighting for the welfare of their workers, when they get this largesse, when they get this increase, they are not going to be sharing it with ordinary citizens. I'm a private sector person. I'm not in the employment of anybody. So what they have done impacted negatively on my own personal business, because for those days I did not have light to work, and things were pretty rough for most Nigerians. So I think it was wise for them to have called up that strike. But I think we should be more concerned about how they will not go back after the expiration of these 5 days. Because the 5 days means maybe by Tuesday, if we take working days, if it's 5 working days, the call of the strike on Tuesday, let's discontinuance Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm sure by Wednesday next week, if an agreement is not reached, unless the federal government is able to placate the labor unions, they may want to resume their suspended strike. But it will not be in the interest of the government, neither will it be in the interest of citizens.